Hello everyone, welcome to DeepSight. Picking up from where we left off in the previous episode, we're going to further explore the story of the Renaissance. During the long, dark era of the Middle Ages, Europe was firmly bound by the heavy yoke of religious theology. Human nature was suppressed, and thoughts were severely constrained. However, the wheels of history were quietly amassing momentum, biding their time for the moment to break free from the cocoon of the past. In the 14th century, Italy witnessed the emergence of a cultural transformation that would reverberate across the world, the Renaissance. It originated in the literary realm, beginning as a spark that gradually kindled into a raging inferno, ultimately propelling the art of painting to a glorious zenith. The early Renaissance was predominantly centered in Italy, particularly in Florence from the late 14th to the early 15th century. The Medici family in Florence served as crucial patrons during this period, sponsoring numerous artists and scholars. Poet Dante's Divine Comedy, painter Giotto's murals, and architect Brunelleschi's dome are all iconic works of that era. For example, Brunelleschi's dome of the Florence Cathedral is widely regarded as a masterpiece in the annals of architecture. In the early days of the Renaissance, literature emerged as the vanguard, shattering the darkness. Dante led readers on a fantastical journey through the realms of hell, purgatory, and heaven. Through his painstaking descriptions of diverse scenes and vivid portrayals of various characters, he delved deep into the nature of human good and evil, moral dilemmas, and the power of faith. This guided people to evaluate themselves and the world around them, thus opening a window to the liberation of thought. Shortly thereafter, Boccaccio's The Decameron was published. This collection of stories, with its vivid and engaging narrative, presented a panoramic view of social life. The book not only extolled the beauty of human nature and the purity of love, but also unflinchingly exposed the hypocrisy and corruption within the church. It was like a tempest of ideas, dispersing the clouds of medieval dogma that had long overshadowed people's minds. This allowed the dawn of humanism to penetrate the real world, greatly inspiring people's yearning for knowledge, freedom, and a better life. It injected a continuous wellspring of spiritual impetus into the Renaissance movement. With the burgeoning and widespread dissemination of the humanist ideology, the field of painting underwent a radical transformation, gradually advancing towards the pinnacle of artistic achievement. The Renaissance of painting during this period was far more than just the lifting of the taboo on nude depictions. It was a comprehensive revolution and profound awakening spanning multiple dimensions, including techniques, themes, styles, and cultural connotations. The High Renaissance marked the zenith of the Renaissance, spanning from the mid-15th to the early 16th century. During this time, a multitude of great artists and scholars emerged. Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa and the Last Supper, Michelangelo's David and the Sistine Chapel ceiling paintings, and Raphael's The School of Athens stand as timeless masterpieces of this era. Scientists such as Copernicus proposed the heliocentric theory, and Galileo validated this theory through astronomical observations. For instance, Leonardo da Vinci was not merely a great artist but also an outstanding scientist and engineer. His notebooks were replete with meticulous observations and in-depth research on nature and machinery. Let's now delve into the remarkable renaissance of painting art during the Renaissance. Techniques: precise realism and spatial construction. Renaissance painters, driven by their unwavering dedication and passion for art, delved deep into and revitalized the realistic traditions of ancient Greece and Rome. In their quest to faithfully and vividly represent the human body on canvas, they dedicated copious amounts of time and energy to the study of human anatomy. By precisely grasping the structure of human bones, muscles, and proportional relationships, the figures in their paintings shed the abstract and rigid forms characteristic of medieval art, coming to life with vitality and a palpable sense of authenticity. For example, Leonardo da Vinci, in his pursuit of unrivaled realism, personally dissected corpses to conduct painstaking observations and in-depth research on the internal structure of the human body. These invaluable practical experiences were directly mirrored in his paintings, enabling the figures he created to achieve an unprecedented level of natural grace in posture and subtlety in expression. The rediscovery and innovative application of perspective brought about a revolutionary leap in painting art. Painters skillfully harnessed the principles of perspective to construct a convincingly three-dimensional space on a two-dimensional canvas. By accurately managing the relationships of distance, size, and position of objects, their paintings acquired a profound sense of depth and a robust three-dimensional quality. This made the audience feel as if they were physically present within the painted world. Take Raphael's The School of Athens as an illustration. The artist employed masterful perspective techniques to position numerous ancient Greek scholars within a magnificent architectural setting. The layout of the figures was artfully arranged, with distinct spatial levels, and the transition from the foreground to the background was seamless. This created a powerful visual impact and a sense of awe, allowing the audience to almost feel the intense atmosphere of intellectual exchange in that era. Themes, from religion to secularity and human nature. In the realm of theme selection, Renaissance paintings were no longer confined to a single religious motif. Although religious stories remained a significant source of inspiration, painters broadened their horizons and began to focus on the rich tapestry of secular life. They were eager to depict the opulent banquets of the nobility, the toil of ordinary folk, the breathtaking beauty of nature, and various scenes brimming with the essence of daily life. Even when creating religious-themed works, painters deviated from the rigid and formulaic approaches of the Middle Ages, boldly infusing them with a strong humanistic flavor. For example, in paintings featuring the Virgin Mary, she was no longer portrayed as a remote, otherworldly deity but as a loving, tender, and approachable mother figure. Her eyes conveyed deep concern and compassion for humanity, and her every gesture exuded the radiance of human nature. This focus on and portrayal of secular life and human nature deeply reflected the profound penetration and flourishing development of humanistic thought within the realm of painting. Styles, from simple harmony to gorgeous opulence. The painting style also underwent a remarkable evolution during the Renaissance. Early Renaissance paintings emphasized clear, crisp lines and a sense of simplicity and fluidity, striving for a harmonious, serene, and elegant aesthetic. The works often exhibited a relatively reserved and understated demeanor. However, as time progressed during the High Renaissance, the use of color became more diverse, bold, and expressive. Painters adeptly mastered techniques such as warm, cold color contrast, seamless light, dark transitions, and skillful color-tone coordination. Through the artful interweaving and juxtaposition of colors, they created a powerful visual impact and a deep-seated emotional resonance. For example, Titian's paintings were renowned for their resplendent, rich, and ever-changing colors. He was a master at using color to convey the texture of objects, the play of light and shadow, and the emotional states of characters. His paintings were teeming with vitality and artistic allure, as if each brushstroke told a compelling story. Nude painting, cultural heritage, and tribute to human nature. The increase in nude paintings during the Renaissance was far from a mere display of nudity. Beneath the surface lay profound cultural significance and ideological depth. In ancient Greek and Roman cultures, the human body was revered as nature's most perfect creation, a symbol of beauty and strength. The celebration and representation of the human body had always been a central theme in artistic creation. During the Renaissance, painters rediscovered and carried forward this ancient and noble cultural tradition, using the nude as a powerful medium to showcase the beauty of the human form, the strength of the body, and the essence of human nature. Take Michelangelo's sculpture David as an example. This iconic work, with its perfect human proportions, robust physique, and resolute expression, exemplified human strength and courage, becoming a symbol of the humanistic spirit of the Renaissance. In his Sistine Chapel ceiling murals, the depictions of numerous nude figures were equally awe-inspiring. These nude images not only showcased the natural beauty of the human body, but, more importantly, conveyed a profound respect and affirmation of human dignity, value, and creativity. Through their meticulous depictions of the human body, painters captured the diverse postures and aesthetic qualities of the body in both dynamic and static states, as well as the indomitable spiritual strength it harbored. This signified a complete break from the medieval suppression of human nature, as people embraced the glory of human nature with a newfound confidence, openness, and courage, and pursued the unfettered expression and exploration of beauty. Against this magnificent backdrop, artistic luminaries such as Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo Buonarroti emerged, standing at the forefront of the Renaissance. With their extraordinary talents, boundless creativity, and unwavering passion for art, they achieved remarkable feats in painting and related artistic domains. They became the shining stars of the high Renaissance painting art peak, bequeathing countless precious artistic treasures to future generations. They led the continuous evolution of human art, writing a glorious and epic chapter in the history of art. Next, we'll provide a detailed introduction to the two most preeminent figures of the Renaissance, Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo. Leonardo da Vinci was born on April 15, 1452. Those born under the sign of Aries are typically characterized by passion, creativity, and dynamism. And these traits are vividly manifested in Leonardo da Vinci's versatility and innovative prowess. Leonardo da Vinci hailed from the town of Vinci near Florence. His childhood was spent in the embrace of nature, where mountains, rivers, plants, and animals became the objects of his keen observation and exploration. This close-up scrutiny of nature laid a solid foundation for his future artistic endeavors and scientific inquiries. Leonardo da Vinci's talent began to shine in his youth. He was apprenticed to Verrocchio. In the studio, he not only honed his painting skills but also developed a deep-seated interest in machinery, engineering, and other fields. Leonardo da Vinci was born into an ordinary Italian family. As an illegitimate child, he did not receive a formal classical education. Growing up in the countryside, he was exposed to nature from an early age and demonstrated remarkable talent in painting, sculpture, and machinery. He created intricate sketches on paper, showcasing his exceptional observational skills and artistic finesse. At the age of 14, Leonardo da Vinci entered the studio of the Florentine master Andrea del Verrocchio to study. Here, he was exposed to a diverse range of arts and techniques, including painting, sculpture, metalworking, and mechanical engineering, which laid the groundwork for his multifaceted talents. Legend has it that the angel he painted in the jointly created the baptism of Christ was so exquisitely rendered that it surpassed Verrocchio's own work, leading Verrocchio to abandon painting. In Florence, Leonardo da Vinci produced some small-scale works, such as the Annunciation and Lady with an Ermine, which demonstrated his unique artistic style and innate talent. His works were distinguished by their vivid expressions, naturalistic details, and masterful use of light and shadow, standing in stark contrast to the traditional painting styles of the time. At 30, he was invited to Milan by Duke Ludovico Sforza of Milan to serve as a court artist and engineer. He created the Virgin of the Rocks for the Duke of Milan. This work, with its enigmatic atmosphere, nuanced character portrayals, and unique composition, exemplified Leonardo da Vinci's distinct perspective on art. Compositionally, the painting is structured in a pyramid shape, imparting a sense of stability and solemnity. The figures are artfully arranged within this framework, creating a dynamic equilibrium. In terms of character depictions, the Virgin Mary exudes gentleness and kindness. Her outstretched right hand seems to convey divine protection. John the Baptist kneels in devout prayer, his expression one of deep concentration and piety. The angel, with a slight sideways turn, has a lively gaze, as if engaged in silent communication with the other figures. Leonardo da Vinci employed soft, diffused light to delicately delineate the figures' contours and expressions, making them seem to emerge from the shadows, full of three-dimensionality and a sense of verisimilitude. Simultaneously, he engaged in extensive research and practical experimentation in architecture, military engineering, mechanical design, and other fields, producing numerous visionary design sketches, such as those for flying machines and tanks, demonstrating his prescient wisdom. Around 1495 to 1498, Leonardo da Vinci, in Milan, created the renowned mural The Last Supper, which marked a pivotal moment in his artistic career. While working for Duke Sforza in Milan, he was commissioned to create this mural for the refectory of the Church of Santa Maria del Grazie. This significant work in Milan depicted the apostles' reactions when Jesus announced, "One of you will betray me." The mural is celebrated for its masterful composition and the poignant expression of the characters' emotions. Despite the fact that the innovative techniques used led to its poor preservation, it remains a crowning jewel of Renaissance art. During this time, he also designed city defenses, weapons, and buildings, demonstrating his multi-disciplinary genius. As his works gained wider acclaim, Leonardo da Vinci became a highly sought-after artist across Italy. He created works for various nobles and the church, spanning the realms of painting, sculpture, and architecture. His notebooks, filled with invention sketches, such as those for flying machines, anatomical drawings, and engineering designs, further solidified his reputation as a luminary in both the scientific and artistic spheres. In his later years, Leonardo da Vinci was invited by King Francis I of France and relocated to France, where he served as the king's chief artist. In France, he continued to create and left behind timeless masterpieces like the Mona Lisa. His profound insights into art, science, and nature not only made him a legend in his own time, but also a symbol of the Renaissance for generations to come. The Mona Lisa was created around 1503 to 1519. In fact, Leonardo da Vinci began working on this painting during his time in Florence. It is said that the woman depicted is Lisa Gherardini, the wife of a merchant. Leonardo da Vinci spent many years refining this work and even took it with him to France in his later life. Today, it stands as one of the most famous paintings in the world. In these two works, Leonardo da Vinci demonstrated his unparalleled command over emotional expression, the artful use of light and shadow, and innovative techniques. Renowned for her mysterious smile and the masterful application of the sfumato technique, the Mona Lisa firmly established his status as a Renaissance titan. An essential skill of early painters was their command over pigments and techniques. The uniqueness of Leonardo da Vinci's paintings also lies in this area. Leonardo da Vinci was deeply interested in exploring new techniques and materials. He did not merely adhere to traditional methods, but actively experimented with improving painting materials and techniques to achieve superior artistic effects. For example, in the mural The Last Supper, instead of using the traditional fresco technique, painting on fresh plaster, he experimented with a combination of oil painting and tempera on a drywall. He hoped this approach would enable more detailed and nuanced expressions, but unfortunately, this technique proved to be unstable, and the mural soon began to peel and fade. When preparing pigments, Leonardo da Vinci sourced natural minerals and plants, such as lapis lazuli, for creating blue pigments and ochre for brown pigments. He had a highly developed sensitivity to color blending, but the relatively low durability of some pigments caused the colors to fade over time. Today, there are unfounded rumors suggesting that Leonardo da Vinci chose cheap materials to cut costs and increase profits. This is a complete misinterpretation. On the contrary, many of his pigments, such as lapis lazuli blue, were extremely expensive. The root cause was that during Leonardo da Vinci's time, he lacked the chemical knowledge and means to control color fastness. His choice of materials was always guided by the pursuit of optimal artistic effects rather than cost cutting. For instance, to better convey the texture of a character's skin or the play of light and shadow, he would incorporate a variety of complex ingredients into the pigments, which, in turn, affected the stability of the materials. Now, let's turn our attention to another artistic giant, Michelangelo. Michelangelo was born in Caprese, near Florence, on March 6, 1475. He was a Pisces. People born under this sign are known for their sensitivity, strong intuition, and artistic talent, traits that are vividly reflected in Michelangelo's remarkable achievements in sculpture, painting, and architecture. His early passion for art led him to enter Ghirlandaio's studio to study painting at the age of 13. However, he soon developed a more intense passion for sculpture and redirected his focus towards the study and creation of this art form. Michelangelo, the ascent in the field of sculpture. Michelangelo's talent in sculpture quickly propelled him to prominence. In 1496, he journeyed to Rome, where he created Bacchus and Pieta. Pieta, with its exquisite craftsmanship and profound emotional resonance, catapulted the 24-year-old Michelangelo to fame. In this work, the Virgin Mary tenderly holds the dead Jesus in her arms. The Virgin's face is youthful and dignified, and her expression is not one of overwhelming grief, but rather a deep-seated, almost transcendent compassion. Her body is slightly inclined forward, gently supporting Jesus, as if bearing the weight of the world's suffering. Through his meticulous carving of the muscles and textures of the figures, Michelangelo imbued the marble with a lifelike quality, allowing viewers to deeply empathize with the Virgin's inner pain and maternal love. In 1501, Michelangelo returned to Florence and embarked on the creation of one of his most iconic works, David. This sculpture, which took 3 years to complete and stands 5.17 meters tall, portrays a young man exuding strength and heroic determination. David gazes intently into the distance, as if monitoring his enemy, ready to spring into action at any moment. His body is slightly twisted, his muscles taut, and every muscle seems to be coiled with boundless energy. Through the creation of the figure of David, Michelangelo celebrated human courage, resilience, and self-assurance, making it a timeless classic of Renaissance sculpture. The rivalry and conflict between Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci form a fascinating and somewhat mysterious chapter in the history of the Renaissance. This can be traced back to the early 16th century when both were active in Florence. At that time, the two great masters of art had significant differences in artistic styles, personalities, and status, which led to mutual dissatisfaction and competition. There are indications that Michelangelo was the one who initiated the conflict. Although 23 years younger than Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo was known for his pride, informality, and extreme self-confidence. This might have caused him to lack the traditional respect for Leonardo da Vinci. Let's analyze why Michelangelo started this conflict. It has much to do with his personality. Since his youth, Michelangelo was famous for his stubborn and aloof nature. He had an unwavering confidence in his artistic abilities, bordering on a strong sense of competitiveness. He was highly sensitive to criticism from others and found it difficult to tolerate those he considered as rivals. Michelangelo was dismissive of Leonardo da Vinci's soft, artistic style. He believed that his own works better represented strength and authenticity. This divergence in artistic concepts made him more likely to openly challenge Leonardo da Vinci's pre-eminence. By the time the young and ambitious Michelangelo was starting to make a name for himself, Leonardo da Vinci was already one of the most renowned artists in Italy and even across Europe. His achievements in both painting and science had established him as a paragon of the Renaissance. For the young Michelangelo, such an authority became a target to surpass rather than a figure to revere. Provoking Leonardo da Vinci was, in a way, the simplest and most effective means for Michelangelo to assert his own position. Was Michelangelo's behavior disrespectful to his elders? During the Renaissance, respecting senior artists was indeed a common social norm, especially within the Catholic Church. However, Michelangelo's actions showed that he was more concerned with his own artistic ideas and status rather than age and seniority. For example, records indicate that when Michelangelo encountered Leonardo da Vinci on the street, he publicly ridiculed Leonardo's unfinished works, such as the Sforza horse. This was seen as a mean, spirited, and disrespectful act. Although Leonardo da Vinci was older, he did not have the same level of ability and achievements in sculpture as Michelangelo. By around 1500, Leonardo da Vinci was already highly esteemed. He was 23 years older than Michelangelo and was renowned for his versatility, being involved not only in painting but also in fields like science, anatomy, and architecture. He advocated elegance and harmony, and his artistic style was characterized by softness and fluidity. Leonardo da Vinci held a very high artistic status. His The Last Supper, completed in 1498, was one of the most highly regarded religious paintings of the time. Leonardo da Vinci also enjoyed a certain social status. He had served the Sforza family in Milan and was highly regarded by nobles across Europe. Having just returned to Florence from Milan, his prestige was unrivaled. Leonardo da Vinci was also highly innovative. He not only achieved great success in painting but also conducted forward-looking research in anatomy, mechanical engineering, etc., and was regarded as a paragon of a Renaissance man. In the face of Michelangelo's challenges, Leonardo da Vinci showed a certain degree of forbearance. Leonardo had a more even-tempered personality, which allowed him to maintain some restraint in the face of Michelangelo's provocation. Although he was displeased with the young artist's arrogance, he did not engage in a direct confrontation with Michelangelo, perhaps also showing a bit of a condescending attitude. In his daily life, he preferred to avoid disputes and focused more on his own creations and research. From our perspective today, although their conflict was intense, it also promoted the further development of Renaissance art, enabling future generations to witness the great achievements of these two geniuses. Michelangelo was known for his stubborn and unyielding character. He was deeply engrossed in sculpture and anatomy, and his works emphasized strength and emotion, presenting a dramatic tension. Leonardo da Vinci, on the other hand, tended to depict human nature with subtle and elegant strokes, while Michelangelo emphasized the dynamic beauty of the human body. This conflict in artistic concepts was the basis of their competition. In 1503, the Florentine City Hall decided to commission artists to paint murals to commemorate Florence's victory in the war. This project attracted the attention of many artists, including Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo. As soon as the news spread, the entire Florentine art community was abuzz. When Leonardo da Vinci heard about it, he was engrossed in a mechanical design study in his studio. However, this challenging task immediately captured his full attention. He knew this was an excellent opportunity to showcase his artistic talent and did not hesitate to take on the task of painting the Battle of Anghiari. Almost simultaneously, Michelangelo also learned of this. He had just completed a sculpture and was in a state of creative exhaustion and satisfaction. When he heard that Leonardo da Vinci was also in the running, a fierce determination immediately ignited in his deep, set eyes. In his mind, Leonardo da Vinci was a respected yet formidable rival that he had to surpass. Leonardo da Vinci threw himself wholeheartedly into the creation. He spent days in his studio, lost in thought in front of the canvas, with the grand scenes of war constantly playing out in his mind. He painstakingly designed the sketches. To depict the cruelty of war and the glory of human nature, he repeatedly studied historical materials and even observed soldiers returning from the battlefield to capture their expressions and postures. Using his expertise and perspective, he constructed a strong sense of space and three-dimensionality in the sketches, making the scenes of charging horses and fighting soldiers seem to leap off the paper. Not to be outdone, Michelangelo, based on his profound understanding of human anatomy, designed the sketches for the Battle of Cassina. He shut himself in his room, working day and night, constantly sketching out powerful and dynamic human figures on paper. He imagined the moment when Florentine soldiers were attacked while bathing, and precisely depicted the tense muscles, twisted bodies, and expressions of anger and determination. Every line was filled with power, as if these figures were about to break free from the paper. Finally, the two artists' sketches were completed and put on display. Florentine citizens and art enthusiasts flocked to view them. Soon, discussions about which sketch was superior spread throughout the city. Leonardo da Vinci's work amazed people with its grand scenes and delicate emotional portrayals, while Michelangelo's sketch caused a sensation with its precise grasp of human dynamics and intense sense of power. It was like a silent competition. Although the two did not face off directly, the air was thick with the smell of gunpowder. This mural competition became the fuse of their rivalry, marking the beginning of a long and intense artistic showdown. Dear viewers, thank you for watching today's content. I'm Lawrence, your navigator for this journey through time and space. As the saying goes, by observing others, one can understand one's own gains and losses. By learning from history, one can know the rise and fall of nations. We welcome you to leave comments, give a thumbs up, and subscribe to our channel. We will explore various historical issues with an orthodox and serious attitude, so as to seek new directions for future development. Your encouragement is our greatest motivation. See you in the next episode.